rally friends. I'm going to give you something a little different this time around. It's a postcard from the wonderful Daybreaker rally. Now, might be a name that one or two of you are familiar with. It's actually a bit of a legendary rally in the North Island, the southern part of the North Island of New Zealand. This year was the 40th anniversary of the first running of the Daybreaker rally. It gets its name from the fact that, well, it did start off 40 years ago, and for quite a number of years it would start at midnight and it would go right through for 36 hours. It was a proper endurance event with really challenging conditions. No pace notes, just route notes, the sun coming up, incredible roads in the Manawatu and the 𝙸𝙾𝙂𝚃𝙲𝙬𝙬 region of the North Island of New Zealand. It is a wonderful area to go rallying, and I have to say, the rally itself based just on the edge of the town of Feilding. Now Feilding, where the ceremonial start was, it's a great little place. It's been voted apparently New Zealand's most beautiful town 16 times. Might be 15, might be 17, but the mayoress tells me it's 16. Little bit of, well, conflicting views on that, but whatever. Who cares? 14, 15, 16, 17 times. It is indeed a very, very pretty town. And it's where the ceremonial start took place on the Friday evening. It was incredible. You know, they closed off the centre of town. They had a wonderful start ramp. It was a great opportunity for the fans to meet the drivers, all the cars, and there was an entry list of over 90 cars on this event. They all came into the centre of the town, parked up an hour or so before they went over the ramp. There was an autograph signing session with the superstars of New Zealand rallying. It was just wonderful. The cars then went up and over the ramp, all 90 of them, in just over half an hour. It was fantastic, and the folks of Feilding turned out in huge numbers to show their support for this event, because it hasn't run for a number of years, and you know, they were delighted for sure, the people of Feilding, to have this event back in their region. So listen, it didn't start in the middle of the night this time around, and thank goodness for that, but I have to tell you, it did feel at times as if it was the middle of the night. It was a one-day event, really, really well thought through. 158 kilometres, 9 stages. First stage was 6:30, I think, on the Saturday morning. But before that, obviously, they'd had the recce, and the way that they recce things out here in New Zealand is a little bit different. They go in convoy, so it was over 60 cars, 60 crews elected to do the recce, and that was Thursday afternoon, then into Friday morning, and it was a very impressive sight. And I have to say, I headed out into the beautiful 𝙸𝙾𝙂𝚃𝙲𝙬𝙬 region to follow some of the recce, and it was incredible. It was good to catch up with some of the drivers. Yes, we had the superstars, we had the 𝚁𝚊𝚕𝚕𝚢, and we had the 𝚁𝚊𝚕𝚕𝚢, but you know, I caught up with a father and son team. Son was 14 years old doing his first rally, and they were just so excited to be doing the same event as 𝚁𝚕𝚕𝚢 and 𝚁𝚊𝚕𝚢𝚢. Really incredible, really, really incredible stuff it was. But the boys that put this event together, Paul and Tony, T-Mac, they did an amazing job for the spectators. They really did. They came up with this QR code system where every bit of communication that went out from the rally, be it posters or autograph cards or articles in the newspapers, had a QR code. You basically scanned the QR code into your phone and it gave you all the spectator points. It was Google Maps for spectating. It made it easy, told you a little bit about each spectator point as well. Really nice innovation from the boys who run the Daybreaker rally. I was very, very impressed by that. I haven't seen that done on any other rallies. It was fantastic to see. Yeah, you know, rallying is all about the competition, but it's also all about looking after the local communities, looking after the spectators, and they did a great job. It doesn't happen, events of the size of this. You know, I said 158 kilometres. That was 158 kilometres of first pass, no repeated stages. So to get those number of kilometres in through different communities and little townships, many, many farms, you have to absolutely get the complete buy-in from the locals, and Paul and T-Mac did a great job in making sure the locals were well looked after, and the locals repaid them by coming out and enjoying what was a tremendous event. Got to say, you know, the forecast, the weather, it had been magnificent for a couple of weeks, to be honest with you. But we were watching the forecast for Saturday, and it was looking more and more as if we were going to get hit by a front and quite stormy weather. We were lucky, we really were. The rain stayed off until stage 6, stage 7, but when it arrived, oh my goodness me, it was absolutely torrential. And you know, okay, it was stage 7, stage 8, and then the final stage in the circuit on the edge of fielding. Absolutely chucked it down with rain, and I thought, oh, you know, we're going to have no spectators in for that final stage of the circuit. But it was so encouraging because they came out, the locals came out, they bought their brollies, they brought the weatherproof kit, and they sat and they watched some fantastic rallying on tarmac, used worn tyres, lots of rain about, there was lots of sliding, that is for sure. And then, do you know what, I did the podium ceremonies at the end of the event, and they went right through till about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and there were still people there were still spectators, there were still rally fans out and about, just, you know, enduring the weather and really taking the opportunity to see up close and personal some big names and some wonderful cars. And it is special, the atmosphere in New Zealand rallying, because it's very much a family atmosphere. You know, there are young people coming to watch, there are young people taking part. I mentioned the 14-year-old lad. There are lots of girls, there are lots of women involved in rallying in New Zealand. The co-driving, the quality of the women co-drivers in New Zealand is as good as you will find anywhere in the world. There are world-class ladies co-driving here, and lots of them, and it's so encouraging. You know, it was just a tremendous atmosphere around a tremendous event. The guys that run it, Tony and Paul, they wanted to do something different. They understand they're commercially minded. Yes, they're massive motorsport fans, but they're commercially minded. They want to do something different. So, you know, they brought DirtFish across. They brought the Scrambler media team, award-winning media team, some of the best videographers anywhere in the Southern Hemisphere to make, you know, short videos, to get them out there, to give people a flavour for the event. You know, there was a bit of live streaming as well. It's combining the live streaming with the fun, insights, entertainment, and showing people what rallying's all about, because rallying is an adventure. And yeah, it was only a one-day event, but my goodness me, it was a good 14 hours of intensive rallying. And if you were out there chasing the rally, it was an adventure, and that's how it should be. That's what rallying was, that's what rallying is, that's what rallying could be for a new generation of fans, and that is exactly the vision that Paul and Tony have for this rally going forward. I have to say, I was just enormously impressed by the scale of everything, from the start in fielding on the Friday night, as good as anything. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 2,000-3,000 people in the centre of the square there, just a wonderful atmosphere, just everything done really nicely. Not asking kids to hang around till 8, 9 o'clock at night. Everything was done with an expediency, but not too quickly, not too rushed. Everyone had the chance to meet the drivers, to get the autographs, to get their photographs with the cars. It made the event feel proper, and everyone was made to feel part of the event, right down to the final ramp and the final podiums. You know, it was all done to a scale that made it look like and feel like a really proper event. I really enjoyed my time in fielding in the North Island of New Zealand for the Daybreaker rally. It was a bit special, and I wish Tony and Paul all the very best going forward, because they deserve to get things right, because they are very forward thinking. They understand the challenges of taking rallying to a new generation, taking rallying forward when, you know, youngsters, kids, families, they're looking for something a bit different, and could rallying be that option for them? Well, I think it is, if we sell it properly. And it is all about selling it, and they're doing a wonderful job selling rallying. So, folks, if you get the chance to get down to the 𝙻𝙾𝙂𝚃𝚃 or the Manawatu region, I would highly recommend it, because, you know what, it's a slightly overlooked part in New Zealand. You head to, I suppose, Auckland, and you might head to the Bay of Plenty, and then you might head to Rotorua, Taupo, and then maybe down to Wellington, then you head to the South Island. Well, I'll tell you what, put in the 𝙻𝙾𝙂𝚃𝚃 and the Manawatu regions, because it really is very beautiful indeed. The roads, I have to say, are some of the most beautiful roads in terms of rallying you will see anywhere. And just to finish up, I almost forgot, in terms of the competition, clearly 𝚁𝚊𝚕𝚕𝚢 was the class act. He'd never driven these roads before, and that doesn't happen in New Zealand very often. But he went out, he won all 9 stages. But the man who impressed me most of our top drivers was Shane van Gisbergen, and what a supreme talent he is. Dominated supercars in Australia for years. He's heading across the States to take part in NASCAR. He's only been in a rally car a few times, but he was consistently between half a second and 3/4 of a second down on Paddon's time in a car that, you know, reasonably equal. But if you were given a choice, you'd take Paddon's car every day of the week. Van Gisbergen was enormously impressive, and yet we might not see him rallying for a little while he takes care of his NASCAR responsibilities. But given a few rallies, half a chance, Van Gisbergen could be a world-class rally driver. I have absolutely no doubt about that. He's got the inherent ability to understand how a car works, and he's got, you know, the skills to handle cars at speed, and he's got, most importantly, the bravery of a man who's willing to take on these ovals at silly speeds in America. So yeah, impressed by that, but I was impressed by an awful lot of drivers, a lot of young drivers in the field as well, and some small Fiestas doing incredible things out there, setting amazing times, and all the way through the categories. I loved seeing the various different Mazdas. We had the RX-7s, the RX-8s, we had the old RX-3s out there, the rotary engines sounding just incredible out in the stages. But yeah, just catching up with old friends, enjoying some incredible cars out there. It was a wonderful event to enjoy, that is for sure. So folks, there we are, a little snippet, a little postcard for you from the Daybreaker Rally.